Okay, got my mic on. Please tell me if you guys can hear me, whoever's in here. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay, so let me just give it a moment here if anybody else jumps in. A lot of times people jump in the first minute. So what I'm going to be doing is I am working on the home island template, and what this means is we're working with a layout that includes plots for building in and building technically wilderness around it, and then trying to make areas of that look like they are established lived in areas. So instead of like dirt road everywhere, we're going to do some cobblestone and some lamps and stairs and some framing of different elements to make it look like, oh, this is where I spawn. It's all laid out. There's stone on the ground. There's some framing lights, more like a little town instead of a just wilderness, just using the terrain mod editor. I've just taken references off of different games. Ideally, once we get into the ship game, we'll have users building an entire city. So this is kind of on a smaller scale where we've set up different areas that players can build. The map, you may see me jump into that. The map has a bunch of mods that mostly Ben made a while ago, just kind of mixing different assets in different ways. So it's not at all a final thing that it's going to be me right now trying to massage the terrain into the right area, working with Michelle to kind of define specific viewpoints so that when you land, you kind of have a good view here, and where you need to go teleport to, say, a scenario or to a contested island or the builder island, that you've got a good view of the docks, where I believe, as the plan right now, we're going to put the portal points. So what I'm doing, what you will probably see me doing, depending on how long you hang out, is I'm going to be making assets that are a mix of hand-done and photogrammetry assets. So, oh, come on. Hello, Maya. Right when I start streaming. What's going on? So, as I was about to illustrate, what you will see me doing is working with a mix of different assets, different programs. In this case, I'm switching between this program to create materials. This is Quixel Mixer. They just released a beta, a bunch of good tools that'll let me make new PBR materials. In some cases, I'm trying to replace some of the old materials that we've got in the game. Thankfully, I can look at the old stuff and go, oh, we can do better now. These stair steps here are an actual real-world asset, and then like this piece was me just making this, and then some quick rocks. And what I'm trying to do is build things such as stairs that we can put on hills, so that you can kind of get up the stairs and get to different building points. So depending on how long you're here, I may be in the map kind of massaging some pieces in. I may be importing new materials, making new materials, importing a model or two. So right now what I'm doing, once I restart Maya, is I'm just kind of creating these stair pieces that we can place into the terrain, and then just to make it look a little more lived in, and then we can prop them out with like some braziers or lamps around them, boxes, barrels, anything that'll make it look more lived in, like a place where people have an established point in the world. So any questions about that before I just basically put on some music and try and go create a bunch of art? Do you plan to place the portals on the docks? Exactly. So part of the end goal of the game is to have you actually take a boat to a different place in the world. So the purpose of the docks is partly an allusion to what we want to do. So we're going to, part of what's a little bit in discussion is how big of a space we need for players portaling back and forth. And it depends kind of how we set up the portaling between zones or servers. The there's a couple of different ideas. One, which we would kind of run out to the boat, and we want to put an NPC greeter there who kind of says like, oh, take this boat and it'll take you to a contested zone. But in this case, since you're not actually going to take the boat, we need to look and see if we've got enough room to realistically put some VFX and a portal volume on the boat. And then the only concern is if we've got a bunch of people portaling back. If you have a whole bunch of people who say when the scenario ends, you've got 100 people who suddenly show up, we need a bigger space. So we might have to have them portal back to a different place on the island versus where they portaled through. Does that work? I don't know. That's part of the discussions. So if we make the dock work based on the size we need out there, it may be like, oh, come stand next to the boat and use this portal, get on the boat and use this portal, something to that effect. Yeah, and for right now, the boats are just a visual. Making traveling by boat will be a whole other thing. Okay. So I'll briefly, what I'm trying to do right now is I've over the last 24 hours made a whole bunch of different materials. I've been importing them this morning. I'm making a variation on these stairs. One's taller and one's shorter, and they're things that I can stick into the ground. And I'm just going to be making pieces to try and, in this instance right now, make some kind of structure that you go up this hill with some walls on the side and stuff. So, which makes me think I should extend the walls on these things. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And I'm going to put on some music and shut up. And I apologize, I won't have a lot of time for stopping and paying attention to questions. I'm just trying to get in as much stuff as possible because us artists are never happy with anything. So I'm trying to get in as much stuff as I can. In the meantime, Michelle's been working on, she's going to do concepts for like realm-specific lamps and stuff that I can swap into the home island to make it kind of look like it belongs to different realms. So right now is just let's get the layout and everything figured out and the road figured out and sketched in. And actually, actually what I'll do is if and when here over the next few hours I open up, because I may be here late, I may open up the editor. I'll stop and explain what's going on in the island and where we're kind of thinking of laying things out. Okay, I'm going to stop talking and hit my mute button. And restart Maya, which has crashed. I swear to God, if I just lost the last hour. I have 2 Mayas. You're not going to recover.
Everybody's always gonna say something. Try and shoot me down for voicing my own opinion. Triggering a part of me that's always been indifferent. And I know that we have asked for change. Don't be scared to put the fist to shame. When you know what you got, sacrifice ain't that hard. Feel like depending on me. Sometimes we ain't meant to be free. When you know what you got, sacrifice ain't that hard. Feel like depending on me. Sometimes we ain't meant to be free. Open up this letter you ain't trying to read. You've been blind to the subject but not blind to me. And I know that this margin ain't too small for me. Not too real, not too much, I need more, not enough. And I know that we have asked for change. Don't be scared to put the fist to shame. When you know what you got, sacrifice ain't that hard. Feel like depending on me. Sometimes we ain't meant to be free. When you know what you got, sacrifice ain't that hard. Feel like depending on me. Sometimes we ain't meant to be free. If who I am offends you, don't feel sorry. Don't feel sorry. Don't feel sorry.
My loss is worth more than yours. I'm satisfied if it starts over again.
That is everything. That is everything. That is everything. That is everything. That is everything.
I gotta make it stop.
Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know all the stars on me. If you do, I won't move. I ain't just cry for no reason. I ain't just pray for no reason. I give thanks for the day, for the hours, and another way, another life breathing. I did it all cause I feel good. I wouldn't do it all if you feel bad. Better live your life. We're running out of time. Let's talk about love. Anything you ain't wanted.
fight the world, I fight you, I fight myself, I fight God, just tell me how many burdens left. I fight pain and hurricanes, today I wept. I'm trying to fight back tears, flood on my doorsteps. Life and living hell, puddles of blood in the street, shooters on top of the building, government aid ain't relief. Earthquake, the body drop, the ground breaks, the poor run with smoke lungs and scarred face. Who need a hero? You need a hero, look in the mirror, there go your hero. Who on the front lines at ground zero? My heart don't skip a beat even when hard times bumps the needle. Mass destruction and mass corruption, the souls of suffering men, clutching on deaf ears again, rapture's coming. It's all prophecy, and if I gotta be sacrificed for the greater good, then that's what it gotta be.
Pray for me, take my pain for me, save my soul for me, 'cause I'm alone to see you. If I'm gon' die for you, if I'm gon' kill for you, then I spill this blood for you. Hey, 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 who gon' pray for me? Take my pain for me, save my soul for me, 'cause I'm alone to see. If I'm gon' die for you, if I'm gon' kill for you, then I spill this blood for you. Hey. Just in case my fate come, I live by my own law. I live by my own law. I live by my own. Just in case my fate come, I live by my own law. I live by my own law. I live
my ticket for the long way round. 2 bottle whiskey for the way. And I sure would like some sweet company. And I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say? When I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair. You're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. I got my ticket for the long way round, the one with the prettiest of views. It's got mountains, it's got rivers, it's got sights to give you shivers, but it sure would be prettier with you. When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair, you're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're sure gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
So I said I would take a moment here. Let's see. Live mic, don't spill any company secrets. Okay, so what this is a general rough layout. What I did is I went in here and assigned one big mod to the whole thing, did some minor adjustments to it. Ben did most of the kind of like combining a bunch of different things. So what I'm doing is using that as a good starting point. So it's not my version of how I would put things together. Just, I think that's a healthy way of going about it, letting different people make different things, because you get stuff you don't think about normally. Like I don't, if you look at my layouts, they don't look like Ben's layouts, either visually in the map here or in the, you guys unfortunately get all this flickering. They also don't look like the way I would lay them out. So why is everything so dark? Sometimes there's a bug in here where the shadows are black, and that's what we've got right now, black shadows. So and everything in the editor is always higher contrast, deeper saturation. That's just one of the things we'll have to address later. Not really a thing I need to worry about right now. So what I was doing here, this was the hill I was starting to work on, and I'll jump out here. Basically all of this area that I just threw a bunch of dirt into is all building areas with towers around the map, building area, and the hub of all of this is actually going to be kind of right here, where I real quickly just stubbed in like, this is where we're going to put the dock. It'll take about a couple of days just to kind of prop that out and put all the pieces together, but in this case that will is just visually representing what we're going to do there. I've given Michelle the task to just kind of come up with like, hey, if I'm out at the end of the docks, what does this all look like? Do we have different layers? Do we have a big statue over here? Things like that. We also want to put a place in here where, just for the sake of argument right now, there's just some trees, like a tavern and a bank as well. And what I'm going to be doing is focusing at that point on building those areas up. Right now what I'm focused on is basically what is a stretch here that is going to be where a road will go through this and then go into the town, which will be in these areas. So what I'm doing is literally going to be building a road down this line here, and that's actually what I was, while I was waiting for the editor to start, what I was working on here was the road material. This obviously repeats a lot, so I'm going to have to spend some time breaking it up, putting a lot of different materials into it, a bunch of different noise functions, and then breaking it up, because if I do this, you can see it tiles like crazy, and we don't want that. So I'm probably going to make two versions of this, and I'll keep the base the same so that I can actually mix them in the terrain editor with like a noise function, and they can kind of get some different colors about them. And real quickly, I took this old platform we made ages ago, but these materials don't look right because they're not PBR'd yet. Super old from years ago, but basically just to say, hey, I'm going to build out kind of a area here where players will be zoning in and out at this section. I'm going to use these stairs to build out. It's fucking flickering. Why am I flickering so much? Where I'm going to put the stairs here. So a lot of this kind of rock wall, I'm going to build out a wall around this, a little bit of a wall here, and I'm actually going to build an asset of a wall. And the idea is later on, players who actually are building in Cube will build their own walls against this. They could, build a platform of stone coming off of this thing. For the sake of argument, since I've got terrain editing tools, I'm just going to make this into kind of a squared off built area, and we'll put lamps and stuff like that. So some of the stuff I'm working on right now is the stairs, the edging, the road, and I'll start propping this out along here, and then at the very end, once we've kind of got the idea of how it's supposed to look, then I'll go in and I'll make edits to the grass, things I want to improve on the terrain, materials, stuff like that. See, black shadows. So right now it just kind of looks like a big mess until we keep massaging it into order, which is actually doesn't take too long with the amount of with the tools that we have right now. So I'm going to real quickly just try and wedge some stairs in here and see if I can kind of make that work, and then move on to whatever else I need to make this piece work. So that's it. Sorry for the flickering. It's a very old bug that I've learned to just not even notice anymore. I don't know why it's particularly bad today. Sorry. Okay, bye.
nights was just us. Was just us. Can't deny we're a classic duet. Like a song that's stuck in my head. It never stops. It never stops. Thought we were beautiful for a second. Gave you all control. I regret it. 'Cause on and on and on you let me fall. I told you I'd give it all in a minute. Found it unusual when you did it. So I'll just wait right here until you do. And I'll just be waiting for you. And I'll just be waiting for you. And I'm better than you'll ever know. They all tell me I should let you go. You don't deserve me. You don't deserve me. But I swear you make me tougher. I swear you make me tougher. And I'm thankful for the pain that you gave me. 'Cause at the end of the day, thought we were beautiful for a second. Gave you all control. I regret it. 'Cause on and on and on you let me fall. I told you I'd give it all in a minute. Found it unusual when you did it. So I'll just wait right here until you do. And I'll just be waiting for you.
say kikiriki kiki. Everybody say kikiriki kiki. Bam boom de de, paso, kuru. 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 Oh baby, I want you. Baby, I need you. I wanna see you. Baby, I wanna go up. Baby, I wanna go up.
Seasons change, but there's still time for us to run away. Seasons change, but there's still time for us to run away. Seasons.
Sanibonani endlini tusavakatsha mindlala ifika malensizwa mina phuma lenzansi kwafeluba sizwa mina 35 thiwa isindala lapha ngiphuma khona maphuma khona batha ufike la nyamangala mangila bebathi ngiyophelele moyeni ibarai manje nginkanyezi Njengoba ngitshala ngempilo yami Funa ukuthatha nayo imfundiso yami Lalela lana Sithemba libulala Kube labulala Ngabe namba phewami Poverty, jealousy, negativity Tongnanda Go away Far away Poverty jealousy, negativity, tongue go away, far away.
I cried, my little brother died. Got high and watched the sunrise. Wiggle on them if it's one time, they done hung all of my people. I love all of my people. I'm in the slums with all of my people. They try to tell us that we all equal. We get no justice, so it ain't peaceful. Yeah, they can bluff you, they can beat you. Paid attorney, we gon' need it. Mama told me they was demons. She ain't never lied on her Jesus. She worked her ass off just to feed us. She went to Ross to cop the new Adidas. She used to tap in with all the teachers. They wasn't teaching nothing, it's no secret. Whole lot of crime, little niggas beefing. We gotta keep it or end up a victim. Trapped in the system, trafficking drugs. Modern day slavery, African thugs. We go to war for this African blood. We go to war for this African blood. When I put niggas on, it was all out of love. You was disloyal, can't call that no love.
Poverty, jealousy, negativity, tongue go away, far away.
Season change. You know we off the stove with it, we stove with it. Niggas know we gon' get it. Season change. Dodging cops, fuck around and get locked. You ain't never coming home with it. Look, my nigga, I came from the sewer. Don't shit on my past, you ain't come from a newer. You see reason and you see LA. But bitch, I ain't come from no ruin. Just know all my niggas, we struggle for it. Had to hustle for it, cry puddles for it. My pops watch his sister get locked for it. I done see my niggas get knocked for it. Like, give me that. I carry the llama like a piggyback. I carry my city like guilt that ain't got no forgiveness. No way out, shit, we locked in the system. Catch a case and they not gon' forgive you. White skin, you be out before.
How'd we ever let it slip away? I don't know. Maybe we could turn back the hands of time. Just this once.
I wanna treat you right, baby. Make it last all night. Oh, you, girl. 'Cause I know you won't say no. No, I know that you're fatal. I wanna treat you right, baby. Make it last all night. Oh, you, girl. 'Cause I know you won't say no.
Oh, I'm still cold from you leaving.
You're the only one I've ever needed. So baby, give me one more chance.
As long as you don't hold back.
It might be your perfume.
So hypnotic, so hypnotic. No, I can't live without you. And now
baby, make it last all night. Hold you, girl, 'cause I know you won't say no. No, I know that you're fatal. I wanna treat you right.
With the bass low. Get you with it.
of my city, king of my country, king of my homeland, king of the filthy, king of the fallen, we living again. King of the shooters, looters, boosters, and ghettos popping. King of the past, present, future, my ancestors watching. King of the culture, king of the soldiers, king of the bloodshed, king of the wisdom, king of the ocean, king of the respect, king of the optimistic and dreamers that go and get it. King of the winners, district and geniuses with conviction. King of the fighters, king of the fathers, king of the belated, king of the answer, king of the problem, king of the forsaken, king of the empathy and resentment, king of remorse, king of my enemies, may they fall defeat, I rejoice. King of the skyscrapers, dodging haters, broke religion, nine faces, go against them, I erase them with precision, I embrace them with collision. Kings did it, king's vision, Black Panther, King Kendrick, all hail the king. I dropped a million tears. I know several responsibilities put me here. I don't pedal backwards, but I live old-fashioned. The lens that I'm looking through won't prescribe you the right glasses. Masses are now free. Ashes I'm dumping out, about to spread all across seas. Sisters and brothers in unison, not because of me. Because we don't glue with the opposition, we glue with peace. But still a fuck up your organization if any beef. What do you stand for? Are you an activist? What are your city plans for? Are you an accident? Are you just in the way? Your native tongue contradicting what your body language say? Are you a king? Are you joking? Are you a king? Are you posing? Are you a king? Are you smoking bull rocks to keep you open? Because a king don't cry, king don't die, king don't like king. If all king get by king don't fall, kingdom come when I come, you know why. King, I am T'Challa.
I know I may be young. I got feelings too.
Alright, so I'm going to show you how to export the 3D models from any DirectX game, including games with DirectX 11. So a few programs you're going to need are Crytek RenderDoc, Process Explorer, Blender, and a script by Stan Bobovich, which will allow you to import the data to Blender. So we're going to be using Elite Dangerous. It doesn't matter if you have the game on Steam or not, so what you want to do is just open up the game like normal and log in. Now we're going to open up Process Explorer. Once we launch the game, you're just going to want to go to Process Explorer, find the process, and right-click Properties. And then right here where it says Command Line, you just want to copy all of that, whole thing, and then you can go ahead and close the game because we're not going to need that right now. So then you want to open up RenderDoc. So basically this is going to allow you to capture the data from the game and export it, so you're just going to want to find the executable for the game, and that will be in a different location if you do not have the game on Steam, but if it is on Steam, it's just in the standard location, except it's, once you go to Common Elite Dangerous, it's in Products, this folder, and then you just select the game. Now for command line arguments, you're just going to paste in that thing that you copied before, and you can get rid of this because that's already in that box up there. Now, you might want to save these settings if you plan on doing this, and it also crashes sometimes, so that's also helpful. That thing that we copy and pasted was an authentication token. And this is just all the DirectX data, so you can go here, and what you want to look for is this color pass right here and draw indexed. Now this is all the vertex and index buffers from DirectX once you finish here.
just pretend like we never met. Don't run, don't run, don't run the cover. 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 We're perfectly built for a downward spiral. We'll never be right with or without each other. You'll always be lost and I'll always follow you down. We can't go without. I'm trying so hard but I keep going under. But we're lying to ourselves again. 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 Don't run, don't run, don't run the cover. 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 It's like magnets are pulling me deeper and deeper. And I tried so hard to fight it all for distance. I don't know how you keep pulling me deeper and deeper. I wanna live like that alone at night with resistance. You leave tomorrow. Don't think of me. Just say goodbye under your breath. I left you crying then, 'cause you needed me. Let's just pretend like we never met.
Most of them gon' talk, I know, I know. Most of them gon' fall, I know, I know. We gon' bet it all, I know, oh, oh. We gon' bet it all, I know. Our girl, I really wanna know your ways. I really wanna know your ways. I really wanna know your ways. I really wanna. Our girl, you been running through my section all day. You been running through my mind all day, all day, all day, all day, all day. I fall down and now dust me off and show me all truth. Show me that I'll never fly alone. I fucked up so many times, but I still have you. Show me how you do it like that. Carrying a brother is no easy on your back. I know most of them gon' talk, I know. Most of them gon' fall, I know. We gon' bet it all, I know. We gon' bet it all, I know. Power girl, I really wanna know your ways. I really wanna know your ways. I really wanna know your ways. I really wanna. Power girl, you been running through my section all day. You been running through my mind all day, all day, all day, all day, all day. Yeah.
Your body and your mind is your contribution. I'm here to give you love and evolution. Power girl, power girl.
If I had you, I'd travel right here for you.
Power girl.
Let me show you what it do. Hey.
Working on me and you all day. Making sure what we have is safe. Doing it all. She's over the city. She go there, she been there. I'm only one nigga. I can't be everywhere.
Take you anywhere, I know, I swear.
Power girl, I really wanna know your ways. I really wanna know your ways. I really wanna know your ways. I really wanna. Power girl, you been running through my section all day. You been running through my mind all day, all day, all day, all day, all day. Yeah.
Power girl in the city, some niggas they owe in the city. Going nowhere, girl, you doing it. Going everywhere, girl, you don't need it. Going everywhere, girl, you doing it. Power girl, why you over the city? Doing it all, girl, you know the city. You over the city. You over the city. Power girl, yeah, she's over the city. Hourglass, yeah, she turned it over. Power girl, yeah, she's over the city. Hourglass, yeah, she turned it over. You love it when I fall on my face. Something so surprising. I'm on my rightful place. Ain't it righteous? Amen. This time around, there's time to turn it around. This time around, there's still time to turn it around. This time around, there's always time to turn it around. This time around, this time around.
Black Panther.
We are in this universe. But perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us. I look up at the night sky, and I know that, yes, we are part of this universe. We are in this universe. But perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us.
Okay, so I'm going to share the conversations that Michelle and I are having. We are slightly uncomfortable having this conversation publicly because we're perfectionists and artists, and we're trying to kind of feel out what we want to do here. So bear with us as we just openly converse. You can see how the sausage is made. So my crazy idea, I like the landing idea because that'll give me distance and variation. Michelle's idea was to put in a landing
You
here.
can make it an odd shape too. Let me see that spot. I mean, like, even if it's like this, or even like you can, angle it or whatnot. I mean, well, your landing starts there, so that means your stairs. You have your landing, you have a bench or something.
Right,
or
right. It's a little hangout
cooling
area.
pond, whatever, and then you can have stairs go ever which way you need them to go.
So build out like a platform up at the top with an opening on it, because this is actually pretty wide. This piece, the stairs, is surprisingly wider than it looks when you look at it down from it there. So so the stairs is wide enough that lots of people can go up and down it. Now, granted, for giant MMO scale, my consideration here was to remove like these two middle guys and maybe just double up my thing here, because how everything looks smaller when you're looking at it overhead. Because if I did that, right, that's plenty of room. I think that's what I need to do.
Yeah, if you do this, then we're going to need to break. You're going to get to Metropolis too fast. Then if we do that, I would like to break out that center and have like fucking like potted plants or not potted plants, but like like fucking bushes and stuff like this.
Make a center divider for real.
Yeah, like literally it would look like this in the middle, fucking dirt, and then we can shove the plants in it, because then you bring in greenery, because you risk going too much concrete.
I don't know if you care. I left this so that I could pull the terrain up underneath it and see it, so that there'd be dirt underneath, and we'd set it in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you care about that, because I didn't want to do like one big giant flat repeating rock texture. Just kind of felt boring, so making them individual stones just adds more visual interest.
That, or I can get like my potted plant. I can get my plant.
You're saying right here. So if I took this,
or there.
So if I took this and did like this, right? That's what you're saying is like an actual divider.
Yeah, I need a place to get a little bit of nature, and it's going to soften it up a little bit too.
Okay.
Because that's a concern going up the hill. You turn that all into stone and concrete. You're not getting.
No, I get you. The nature. So we take that out, and we do. Hey, Max, you just listening?
Yeah, cool stuff.
We're on mic, just so you know.
I want to build it out of cardstock.
Okay. So we could do that. Go up to a landing. So we double up this up. And do a couple of
it could be a little
strata
garden.
down.
Doesn't need to have no pond. It'd be a little nice little sitting area.
Oh, you mean literally in the middle of this, or are you talking about the garden?
No,
thing?
in the landing. So you got the greenery going up there, and then you have the fucking
we should do
landing.
A circle.
It can
go
be.
Around.
It can be, or you can let it be a
break it up.
Work with the land. Work with the land that's there.
Well, you have to remember, I can move the land.
I don't care about the land. You want a little bit organic. They built into the land with the land here.
So you're saying
go up here, you have this really nice, interesting shape. Because if you start if you don't have little pieces like that where you look like you've worked on land, everything begins so industrialized or city, urban. Because we're not a total urban.
Well, I was thinking if I move the plot. Ben was like, I don't care, move everything where you want it. I could move this building space up back a bit, and we could put, kind of an entrance type of piece here.
Your stuff because of the storm.
Oh,
it's really hitting outside.
Have we flickered?
We haven't flickered
yet. We haven't flickered, but look at it.
Yeah, because I'm trying to
save an iteration of this.
Also, once you're done with that, Brian has read through the newsletter. Can you send it?
Sure. Why don't I see? Oh.
Well,
yes, Max, I heard you.
Give me a fucking chair.
You want me to send it out? I'm assuming Mark was good. Do we want to check with him? I know he's doing stuff, but...
I mean, he read it before.
Okay.
Nothing's really changed.
Okay, so send out the thing.
also, I kind of want to set it up before we lose power if we lose power.
Well, I can always do it from my phone.
But you can log into MailChimp on your phone.
I don't think I've tried it, but I'll be really surprised if I can. And if I have to go home and do it, I can always send it from home. Okay, so thank you for the landing idea. Part of what I was doing was I was assuming that, God, every program, different camera controls. So what I was thinking, so you're kind of saying like, build the landing here and then do a few more steps up and we could do something off to the side.
Let's sketch it a little bit.
Well, this is what happens to me. I start sketching.
Yeah, you have to like feel it out, you know. So we have like our own little like. So this guy, yeah, this is up here. That's
now,
a plane.
Michelle, please remember, I can actually just change the terrain. I made this divot already.
Yeah, but it's a nice. It's
nice
interesting,
isn't it?
Up there, and you get much like interesting things happening, or else you're going to end up with square, circle, square, square, rectangle, boring.
Got it. Well, are you thinking that? I mean, there's an interesting curve here that I find very cool.
What's going to go on over here? What's going to happen over
well,
here?
I just said we would
like,
double
hill
this.
it in?
So if we double this, which just I can do here to flesh it out. Not you.
I mean, you can soften it in with some little mounds of hills and stuff. Yeah, and then up here.
Why we need better gray boxing tools.
Fucking throw a sundial in there too.
A sundial?
Sundial with some
Look
like
at you and your ideas.
Garden shit around it, and then you throw like a bench or two.
So I can build this whole massive.
Yeah, I mean you could build like just like find a geometric shape that just like fits in. It'd be like a
You're
rhombus.
not showing your.
So stairs go up, and then you just kind of fit into it. It'd be a fucking rhombus for all I care.
Oh, yeah. See, the problem is one of my problems is I'm flying blind when I work in Maya because I can't export the height map yet. We need to develop a tool for that. So I kind of have to just play it by eye and go, okay, it's a shape. But I see what you're saying.
Oh,
like,
I see.
Like I have to make a big gray box and guesstimate
just
it.
go grab a square and clip it in, and then you'll kind of, let it live inside of there, and then just like maybe have like an angle, like whatever, make it like a fucking rhombus and shove it in there.
I like your point of I'm trying to shove my idea into the terrain versus you're saying just make it work.
Work with the terrain. Let it guide you a little bit. Like if you were, coming here to build, like if you're fucking in medieval time, you don't want to like have to like chop down that whole fucking rock. All right, you're going to start working with it because it also reinforces. Because you're like, I'm going to work with that rock because that'll make everything strong around it too and shit.
So okay, I've got a landing here. I build myself up to right where this landing is, right? So how do we get out of the landing? There's straight, which is, and then there's also like we could bring it up. Like I said, there could be another little landing up here that you get to.
Let's see.
I would like to build like a wagon road off the back here. Like the delivery where the wagons go. Like it'd be really cool to do an adjacent, dirt or cobblestone and wagon that kind of went off over here and goes around the corner here.
I thought you were like building a little fort up there or something.
Where?
Up here, with these walls.
No, I was just trying to say, they've built some walls around the environment to buttress that wall against their magical spawn dais. I was going to put rock here. Remember how we talked about like doing, like if you think of it this way, like, I've got all this natural environment and then there's a piece in front of it and we could do this.
Mm-hmm.
Here, look over at my very sexy sketch. Right, you could do like two statues in it or something.
On front. Actually, I'm more concerned on what's on top. So, okay, you're walking upstairs. Where are you going? Yeah. You got a little landing thing. Now, what are the people going up here for? What's up here? If you're going to do a trade road here, maybe a nice little trade station thing. You got some fucking wagons and shit. You got a nice road running by. Build it like you're going to live there.
No, that's what I'm thinking. So I get up here. I make like a little area. We get up this, and then there's like a little opening here that runs off to the side. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that, or you can do a little like little stone like fucking like monument thing or something up there.
You mean on the corner?
Yeah.
Well, that see interestingly, you had that little fence thing, right, that I did in Maya.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that was up here, this would be a good place to like stick a statue standing here and a little bunch of traders and some shit, and then you know, you could spin this off to the side.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of putting just, it almost is like a little lookout park kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we can put some benches and
That
flowers
sounds-
there. So
Stone gazebo.
So granted, you guys have to understand, for those of you listening, we are planning out and doing some of the tech for Beta 1 for like building placed objects. It's very minimal right now just because we had to for changing a lot of the building code. But a lot of these things, when I say the word bench or a potted plant, those are things that ideally we want to be able to... Ultimately, there's not too much of a reason right now, minus extra work, that we couldn't give that to players. But the point is we want to give those things to you guys to place at a later point. So all of this stuff, while we're placing it here, is in lieu of tech for backers working on a plot. Just FYI. Okay, that actually gives me a really solid idea, because then what I can do is, I think what I should do is build the platform that fits here and give it walls so I can just kind of set it in there, and then set the center to line up with the stairs, and then build the stairs down. And I could probably just link the whole thing together in Maya and set it right there, and then worry about getting up the next piece. Because I think the problem is, what I have to do is, actually, I can just take a box. It's like 25 meters high, and I just need to. I know I need to cover that distance in stairs and platform. Okay, that's a really fun idea. Are you okay with the like wall over here?
Yeah.
I just felt like it needed to be buttressed. Like there's got to be some areas in the map that look built out, like if someone cubed it or something.
Yeah, I mean, this is my forte. So long as your main strategy here is starting general to specific.
Yeah, that's why I've got these big gray boxes in here.
Okay, good.
The problem was, I thought my stairs would work out in pieces, and then I was like, oh, this shit's way bigger than I thought it was.
Well, yeah, that's why I started drawing the fucking cobble room versus stairs. Just like fucking go with it.
Yeah, well, that I think the landing is a great idea. I think I should do that, and then link the stairs to it and bring the stairs down here. And the next thing we'll need to do is we'll need to figure out what this looks like.
Yeah, that's in my list of the little scenes I need to do and stuff.
So I haven't. So just so you know, we're not fucking up your scene here by putting the stairs like
no,
this.
I'm focusing over here. What's going to go on here and building out, and I can work with whatever you do here.
Okay. So next thing I need to do is build out a platform, link it up to the stairs, gray box that, and set it in here and work on those pieces. And it includes some potted plants, i.e. nature, going down the middle of the stairs. I'll remove the secondary centerpiece. I also want to clean up the texture on the stairs, use maybe different stair textures. Okay. And then that at least gets me up to here, and I can build out a prop real quickly for the couple of wall pieces. And we could give people, like, you know, we said, like, oh, there's stalls over here or vendors and a statue or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working the top down. I want to map out a general game plan. I'm working with the docs right now and stuff before. I don't want to do it piece by piece. That's not going to work over in that section. So this is the start of the game plan. So this section you're at is like right about up here. This is where your trees are currently at. Tavern's probably going to go on the other side there. This is probably a little bit off.
I was seeing it all backwards. I was trying to make sense. I had it all backwards.
No.
Okay.
This would be the water.
Got it.
This would be the water. You would need one major dock, and then you would have secondary docks, because the major dock will guide the player to the...
So what do you got going on over here? Like a thing you run across along the beach here?
Yeah,
along the coast?
yeah. On this level, so this is all up. There's going to be multiple levels because the medieval docks worked and stuff. So this is all one level, right?
Got it.
But around where the tavern is, I'm going to do a little slightly up. What do you call them? Like, you know, the seaboard docks. You got like a little bit, like one layer up more boards and stuff, and get some.
And then you go up stone.
Yeah, and then get like some tables out and stuff like that, and others like, you know, like things to make it alive, kind of shit.
Okay.
But it's a general like, hey, that's going over there, but like,
I'm sure it's a one-line thing.
these two squares are lower than this T here.
Do me a favor, go scan that, and just so, because I'm going to be here a little bit longer, scan it so I have a picture of that layout. Because then I can prep it.
If you want it in this rough form, I'm still working out to making it a nice, like, fucking presentation.
If you're good with that rough out, I need to do that rough out over here. I need to just block
Well, I was
out.
going to test it on there, like on my sky view thing.
Well, what I was saying is, like, if I look at that, right, your tavern is
So hold on.
over here.
Yeah, that'll be over
Right.
there. Just turn it just slightly for me. Yeah, so you come out here. You want to come around here and
Now-
stuff. So you have like a major T. These get
The only
pushed
problem
down.
is all my shit's 45 degrees off of your drawing.
Well, because it's a rough before
Okay,
I
okay.
do it on the. I took screenshots of the overview map so
So-
I can actually draw it on accurately for you.
So if this piece was here, right, this is like
Yeah.
general docking stuff. We're gonna probably do a square here, where I probably need to make enough room that we can put this thing along this here.
Maybe I need to draw it. I need to paint it. I need to test it. I need to make sure so like you don't waste time over here, like basically. So you have fun in this, and I'm gonna.
Oh
work
yeah,
on,
I'll
and
work
then
on that
you're gonna
tonight.
get lots of
Okay,
refs
tomorrow
and
morning.
materials.
Tomorrow morning, you got to start getting ahead of me. So worry about the signs and everything last.
Well, yeah, of course I
I'm
am.
more looking at it from the sales perspective.
Okay.
But yeah, I need to do that. But yeah, no, I got all.
Okay, I'll make this. I'll make that thing. All right.
Yeah,
Thank
just
you.
focus on having fun in that area.
Blend out is blending to the ones.
Fucking sell that area.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn off my mic.
Exactly to that point, right?
but no one's worthless. We ain't deserving of everything heaven and earth is, but where it is good.
This is my home.
So no one's perfect, but no one's worthless. We ain't deserving of everything heaven and earth is, but where it is good.
Northern California.
Hey, they better call a paramedic in the street. I got leverage in the street. I'm a California nigga and I'm heavy in the streets.
22 or 23, I'm heavy with the heat. Hit you with this chop, paramedics can't save you. Really in the field, come on, bro, I know that ain't you. 2018, hell no, I ain't gon' fade you, go paint you. TDE and SOB, we can't lose. Niggas bitch made, that's just something I can't relate to. Turned on the gang, that's just something that I can't do. Fall out over a bitch, that's just something that I can't do. Rip bear beat, I get on, I was made to.
Everything she sees, she says she wants. Everything she wants, I see she gets. That's my daughter in the water. Everything she owns, I bought her. Everything she owns. That's my daughter in the water. Everything she knows, I taught her. Everything she knows. Everything I say, she takes to heart. Everything she takes apart. That's my daughter in the water. Every time she fell, I caught her. Every time she fell. And that's my daughter in the water. I lost every time I fought her. Yeah, I lost every time. She blinks, she strikes somebody blind. Everything she thinks blows her tiny mind. And that's my daughter in the water. Who'd have ever thought her? Who'd have ever thought? That's my daughter in the water. Every time I fought her, yeah, I lost every time.
Can somebody tell me, how did I end up here? Somebody tell me, how did I end up here?